Stock market today analysis for October 11th, 2022. Nasdaq down 1.10%. S&P 500 down 0.65%. U.S. Treasury 10-year yield up 3.7 basis points. Gold down 0.04%. Bitcoin down 1.23%. Oil down 2.91%. The negative news continues. While that negative news is continuing, here is actually something positive for a change in the cryptocurrency world, where Bank of New York Mellon, which is it's this big old bank that I think there's a lot of financial security stuff going through. Maybe you're familiar with it. I heard about it a while ago. I never really paid much attention to it. But apparently they're going to allow their fund managers are now allowed to use Bank of New York Mellon to manage crypto holdings or something with crypto. So that's if you like crypto regulation, then that's good. It appears that buyers of U.S. Treasuries are retreating, and if you feel like splurging money, then go travel around and have a good time and empty out your pockets. Bank of New York still attempting to deal with their problem in the bond market, and we've got all types of other negative news going on. But you know what's not too negative? Look at this. Earnings reports. Today, October 11th, these companies reported. Tomorrow, any big names in there? PepsiCo going to be reporting. Thursday, this might be a market mover here. BlackRock, Delta Airlines, Walgreens. Out of these, though, maybe the market mover might be BlackRock. And then Friday, we've got a bunch of banks reporting, which also is probably going to be a big market mover. Speaking of market movers, Thursday we have the Consumer Price Index report, and that is probably going to be a market mover in either direction. Now, there's like, generally speaking, I'm doing most of my trading in a way that's sort of irrelevant to this type of stuff, and then I have a smaller amount of trading that I do that it'll be relevant to this. You've got to make a decision for yourself of like what fits into your lifestyle, what fits into all these different aspects of what you have going on with your life. But if you don't really know how to pay attention to the stuff and how the stuff might affect the market, then consider figuring out some strategies that allow you to be profitable regardless. Maybe it's not highly profitable. Maybe you're nickeling and diming profit, but nickeling and diming is better than losing money. Risk indicator up a little bit. We're definitely creeping up towards that higher end of risk, right? Almost, or closer to 300 than we are 200. And to put that into perspective, this is graphing it going back to August 29th, and we see August 29th it was down in this lower, even though it was in high risk area, 200 to 300, it's in the lower level, and it's just steadily been climbing up towards this higher level of risk. So if we have some bad earnings reports, something bad with CPI, then maybe we can see a dive on that. One thing that the MMRI is calculated with is the U.S. Treasury 10-year yield, which is up considerably. Right, here's where it was. It's just a tad down from where it was on the 26th of September, its most recent high. And generally, when these rates are moving up, then it tends to put pressure on stocks to go down. Did stocks go down today? S&P 500 we see close down with not a strong down candle, doji-ish type of candle, but it definitely closed down, and we see it traded up here higher, but selling pressure just pushed it down here. Our volume is kind of touching that average volume. Long-term trend still on the downside, still strong to the downside, but we are hitting this base, getting the support right in here. And if we go back, look at it back one full year, we're not seeing anything on a year, but I would imagine if we went back in time, maybe we're going to see that touching. But right now it's got a little bit of support here, and I'm interested to see, is it going to break through here? Technology, oh, major significant increase in the selling volume, where it really surpassed the average volume. And you can see that average volume's been down here. It was causing it to drop a little bit. Boop, it really took it up. And it's still this kind of doji-ish looking candle with our long-term trend going down. Money still flowing out of that sector. And with the healthcare sector, green day, look at that, a green day, but you can see it's a green day in relationship to this down slide here. And we had a good amount of selling volume come in. However, even though there was a good amount of buying volume come in, look at it, traded all the way up here, but selling pressure drove it down here. This wick to the top is pretty long, so even though we have a bull candle, it opened below this yesterday's candle and still closed in the top 50% of it, but lower than where it dropped yesterday. It doesn't look, at the moment, it's not looking too promising to make it back up here very easily, but we're sticking in this range right here still. The financial sector, XLF, big trend still moving down, money flowing out. Big significant increase in selling volume today, although that candle's not looking super impressive. We do see it's really getting in the support area right here, and again, prices traded up here, but selling pressure brought them down here. Opened and closed below yesterday's candle, so it's really just in line with this downward trend. So by the end of this week, it'll be interesting to see if it's going to break. If it's going to break and stay below this support area right here. Consumer discretionary, we got the similar big trend going on. It's down. A little uptick in the selling volume, but still not reaching that average, the daily average. And we see this big spindly looking candle here with the body opening below yesterday's candle, closing below yesterday's candle, and prices trading up above yesterday's candle, but selling pressure just brought it down. And yesterday's candle as far as being the body. And seemingly we're getting, kind of getting stuck in this area that we've seen happen in the past, right? We see that this area, it likes to kind of get stuck in here. Same thing with that. We'll see what happens with by the end of the week with all these different reports. IWM, big picture, downtrend is still strong, although we had a green candle today, a green doji candle. Look at that, almost traded 50 evenly to the up and to the down. So opened here, closed here, but nonetheless, it's still still opening and closing below the body of yesterday's candle, and we had a good amount of selling coming in, but excuse me, buying coming in, but it's indecision. It's getting caught in this trading range right here. With the Qs, you know, we just basically almost every sector that we're looking at is looking the same, right? Almost everyone, maybe so far it's been everyone. Qs, doji down day, nothing, not this big candle. It's just sort of floating down. Increase in the number of selling going on, that selling volume. And go back, let's see, 6 months. Well, for the last year, we're making new lows for the last year. You see that we're down here, which we already started making new lows, but broke this. What day was that? Broke the low of September 30th, and let's see by the end of this week if we're gonna be going down even lower. The dollar via UUP. Weak candle. Volume's been weak. This is looking different because it's really not a sector of the stock market. It is an index, an equity representing the strength of the U.S. dollar. And you see the strength has been pretty strong. Strength has been strong above all three of these moving averages. Even though we got a high, we got a lower high, maybe it's getting ready to float down to this 25-day moving average again. And even though maybe that's getting ready to happen, but one thing that we can say for this is that look at how far prices traded to the downside, and buying pressure pushed it up here. So it just kind of went sideways for 2 days with a wider trading range today. And so that does give us, that is a bearish, bullish, it's a little hint to the bullish side, but overall this candle is looking pretty weak, just the way it's going right now. Hard to tell what might happen, because especially with the dollar, there's other things at play than just like regular equity fundamentals. TLT, which is, you can see here, the TLT is tracking the 20-year treasury bond. So we looked at the 10-year treasury. Now we're looking at the 20-year treasury. It's been going down. Just sort of generally speaking, when TLT is going down, then the stock market tends to also go down. And we see that at the beginning of this year, it started going down, and the stock market's been going down. It's interesting how some of these things can correlate like that. And then sometimes they become uncorrelated. But nonetheless, TLT kind of had this weak, massive increase in the buying volume today, but it didn't really give much effect to the actual candle, where it's very, very picture perfect doji right there, which can tend to mean slowing momentum. This was definitely a speeding momentum. It could also tend to mean a reversal of, or getting ready to go in one direction or the other. And because it's been in this downward trend, because it's below all three moving averages, it's putting pressure on it to the downside, and it can stay stuck in this kind of oversold area for a while, which it was, right? You see it all, it's stuck in here for a while. So we might see that. That seems more likely than it's somehow shooting up to the upside, but we will see tomorrow. Oil. So oil's having a bit of a pullback. Now we're back to this $88 range, and this big bull candle right here was giving up all all those gains with 2 drops down. Now we're right here below that 200-day moving average, but still above the 20-day moving average. So I'll be watching that to see what is going to indeed happen with that. And GOLD has given up this rally right here, gave that back. So now we're really just staying in this trading range at the moment, below 1700, which this range of 1700 is a pretty important level. You can see it going all the way back here to July. It tends to get stuck in there, and so now it seems like we're going to be pushing on the low end of that. Now let's see if it's going to stay in there and build a base, or if it's going to go down here and test this area from 1640 to 1620. Bitcoin doing kind of what we've seen it been doing for at least 3 months here, maybe more. It rallies up a little bit, sells off, kind of goes sideways, and we're still below all 3 moving averages. It's below the 20-day moving average, obviously, because it's below all 3. And this idea of like someone being biased when they look at this, oh, you're just biased, you want it to go down, like it's not going up. Picture, is that true? A picture speaks 1,000 words. And so what does this picture tell you? It's really telling you that this is kind of slowly moving down, and we'll see if it keeps doing that. Will it keep doing that? Time will definitely tell. So here we are looking at the S&P 500 on the line chart with my beautiful channel drawn here, and we're still kind of in the middle of it. We have this little rally. It's kind of giving it back up, floating here. We've for our most recent low of back here of the 12th of whatever month that is, the 6th month, and we passed that. Now and then we've got our most recent low is going to be September 25th. We're testing that September 25th low, and it's just not making it up to the top part of this channel at the moment. And it could kind of zigzag up there, but at the moment it's not, and it's going to be really telling once we start getting into these earnings. CPI comes out, we'll see what happens on Thursday. Getting into these different earnings on Friday with all the financial sector, and it is really super exciting of what is going to happen. So what can happen for you? I hope you already know what I'm going to say. Paper trade. Why not do it? Why not? Give me a valid reason. The only valid reason that there is that you could just say, I don't want to do it. Okay, you don't want to do it. What are you giving up if you don't do it? You're giving up wisdom, you're giving up education, you're giving up learning, you're giving up a lot of stuff. What if you do it? What do you give up? If someone says, well, I'm giving up real profits, if you don't know what you're doing, how do you know you're really giving that up? More than likely, if you don't know what you're doing, you're giving up premature losses. So paper trade. And go to ifsuccess.com, download some stuff. I'll email you. We'll go to picnics together virtually, barbecues. I'll give you some virtual hamburgers and all that stuff. Hey, just kidding. It's a stock market. We're online. Let's have some fun. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.